Hey homies, what's up? Ryan Winn here. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Night Special. Got my cat Rocket running around in the background like crazy. Might be able to hear him, might not. So, anyways, what are we looking at here tonight? This looks like a big piece of original art. It is behind glass. It's a piece that I have hanging on my studio wall. So, what it is pages 8 and 9 of Promethea issue 25, printed by America's Best Comics, an imprint of Wildstorm Comics from years ago. Let's see, written by Alan Moore, pencils by J.H. Williams, inks by Mick Gray. I bought the pages from Mick Gray, that's who I got them from. And let's see, colors by Jeremy Cox, letters by Todd Klein, and edited by Scott Dunbier. So one of the great things about having an original piece from this series was that it was all hand lettered by Todd Klein. So by getting these pages, I not only got the words of Alan Moore, but I got them represented by one of the best letters and designers in comic history and contemporary comics, Todd Klein. If you're not familiar with Todd Klein, he's been with DC and Vertigo and multiple companies for years and years and years. He not only pioneered, or not only was just a legendary letterer, but also pioneered going into digital fonts and things like that. He's a great font designer and logo designer in his own right. So this was almost just as much of a treat to have it hand lettered. And these are hand lettered over the pencils. So the inker gets it third. It's penciled, then it would go to the letterer, he would letter it, then it would go to Mick, who would ink it. And Mick did such a good job on this. I have always really liked the way he handles the shadows and black shapes of J.H.'s pencils. Especially things like this cloak. He tends to use a brush. I believe he uses a Raphael 8404. Maybe a Winsor Newton. I'm not sure what ink he was using here or uses currently. We're not necessarily friends, but he's one of my favorite inkers and he's always been an inspiration. So whenever I see him at his booth, I try to stop by and look at his originals and pick his brain a little. And I've always liked this figure of Stasia. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar, it's kind of hard to quantify what Promethea is. I'll get back to this character in a second. It's a story about a girl named Sophie Bangs, and she somehow comes to be inhabited by the spirit of Promethea, who is a character that has reoccurred throughout pop culture and history in their alternative world, their world, throughout history, and is set to bring about the apocalypse, the end of the world as we know it. But it's a really interesting tale. A lot of people kind of say it's like a, Doctor Strange and Wonder Woman kind of mashup. There's lots of mysticism. There's full issues that break down the Kabbalah in a really interesting way, and its ties to Christianity and history and things like that. It's really interesting, and it's a great series because the entire creative team is on board for the whole series. I think they do switch up or go back and forth with colorists. I think there were some issues that Jose Villanueva colored. Villanueva. And down here, if you're wondering what this is just, it's a Madman image that I drew years and years ago. And when I was putting my studio together, I found it had fallen out of an old sketchbook, fell on the floor, and I stuck it up on here on this glass, and it's just been there ever since. And I decided not to remove it. It's kind of part of the scene now. He's impressed by this double page spread. So anyway, so in the story, Sophie Bangs, the main character, she has a best friend, Stasia, who's this kind of like punky girl. And she gets inhabited with a different form of Promethea. It's Grace something. So she becomes a prominent character in the story as well. And I always really liked, it's the little things in life, but Mick's inking on this is so perfect. And I love the jeans. Look at that sound effect by Todd Klein. Man, sound effects should almost always be done by hand, I think. Very rarely do I like digital sound effects, unless they look like they were hand done. So here's another cool effect that JH and Mick pull off on this page is the ghost effect. So this character is a ghost, so you can see the figures through him, but see how thin lined they are, they're broken up. Makes that easy to figure out, and it's going on up here as well in the introductory panel. Sorry, I said that weird. Introductory panel. So yeah, I'm a lucky dude. This is a special way to collect original art because you get a little bit of everyone except for the colorist. But speaking of the colorist, Jeremy Cox on this issue, he did a great job. So it's not an official page in print episode, but we do have the colors here. We do have the book. We can take a look at what they did. So these are rules to, let's say Jeremy follows rules that I like and appreciate and also follow with comic coloring. So the main characters also all have bolder colors. The backgrounds are more muted or pasteled. Let's see, you can see on that panel there. You can see how nicely the figures pop off. It's very simple. It's very simple. Backgrounds are never as saturated or as bright as the main figures. Within reason, obviously. Let's see, let's take a look at the panel I liked a lot. Reproduced so nicely. Get a little focus there. Come on, there we go. Let's look at this panel here. It's got 3 nice layers to it, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got, yeah, I'd say 3. I'd say the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. You could maybe say 4. And it reads just as nicely in colors. Look at that. And then I'm going to do this panel here because I like this close-up of Stasia's face. And I like the sort of back angle shot on Grace's face there. It's really nice. Beautiful ink work by Mick. Look at that. And Jeremy let the line work do everything it's supposed to do. Didn't overpower it at all. You almost don't even know he's there. Like we always say with a good letterist or a good colorist, you almost don't even know they're there. So little things that are always fun about having original art is you get things like this, little mistake. Wrote the page number and the month number, and that's because DC sometimes does weird stuff where the issue number is on one line and the page number is on the other. So that's kind of interesting. And then it's always cool to see the proof of handiwork here. And if you look right there, you can see the little dot where his compass, where Mick's compass made a mark so he could do those circles. And then this same circular design is repeated down here, and he had Xeroxed it, and this is a cutout that was pasted on. So, all right, there we have it. Sunday night special. I know I usually like to do these vertical videos to take advantage of the comic page being vertical like this. And we're doing a double wide, but still, you get some nice framing here on these that you can't get on YouTube. So, hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've read this series. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite Alan Moore series is. I do like a lot of his work. I think this is by far my favorite work of his. So, yeah, let me know below and we'll chit-chat about that. And I should have another What Up Wednesday video up Wednesday, and maybe I'll do some little inking videos or anything in between there, little bonuses if I can. So, until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take it easy.